So this is a demonstration on how to manipulate data on SPSS. Of course, we're not going to do everything that SPSS can do for data. As a matter of fact, I'd rather you manipulate data on Excel, but if you were to be in an SPSS class, then probably the expectation would be to learn how to do this on SPSS. So without further ado, let's simply look at this data and let's create a composite variable for self-efficacy. Now, teacher self-efficacy is made of 12 different variables. Yours might look a little bit different, but this is the idea. There are 12 different variables that when combined and divided by 12, you get an average score for teacher self-efficacy. Now, if you look at these individually, teacher self-efficacy, you would learn that there's efficacy of providing instruction, efficacy of handling the classroom, and efficacy of something else. But anyway, it's made of 3 subscales. We're not concerned with that today. We're simply concerned with adding these guys up with SPSS and then dividing them by 12 to get a composite variable for teacher self-efficacy, which is the average of all 12 variables. So what I would do is I would come over to transform and I would say compute variable. The first thing I need to do is give this a name, so I'm going to call this teacher self-efficacy and maybe even add composite. I can add a label to this. I can actually say the average of all teacher self-efficacy subscales. I made that up. It doesn't matter what you put there. This is simply giving you a little bit more information about this variable. So let's click on continue. These are the 12 guys that I need to put in here. The worst way to do this would be to insert one variable, click plus, insert the next variable, click plus, another variable, click plus, which you can certainly do, and then put this into parentheses and divide it by 12. But we don't want to do that. So what we're going to do is, and this is not too much faster, but what we're going to do is we're going to say I want the sum of, and I'm going to click on this and then simply comma, click, comma, click, comma, click, comma, click, comma, click, comma. And when I say click, I'm actually double clicking. Click, comma, click, comma, click, comma, click, comma, click, comma, click, and no comma at the end. Close the parentheses, and then let's divide this by 12. And that's it. You're asking SPSS to give you the sum of these 12 variables and then divide them by 12. So without much more to do on this side of computing a variable, we can click on OK. You will now receive on your output file a bit of information that simply says you've created compute teacher self-efficacy, which is the sum of all these variables divided by 12. And now you can look at your meta file or metadata and look towards the end, and you should be able to find a teacher self-efficacy composite score, which is, again, all of these guys divided by 12. If you look at the variable view, here it is. It's a numeric variable. It's the average of all 12, and we've called teacher self-efficacy composite. It's a scale, and that's it. If you want to describe this, analyze, describe, descriptives, bring in the average of all TSE, or if you ever right-click on this, you can say, give me the variable name. So now with a variable name, you can bring this in, or with the variable label, you can bring it in. Say options, I want, let's say skewness, kurtosis, continue, and okay. And we look at this and we can see that the average is 7.02. If you do a little bit of research, you will find that the average for teacher self-efficacy is somewhere around this number here. And this was developed by Anita Hoy and Shannon Moran, and you can see that it's a pretty good scale where we have no issues with skewness or kurtosis. That's it for that assignment. Hope it helped.